The Trump campaign's legal team has distanced itself from Kraken master Sidney Powell. A spokesman for Dominion Voting Systems talks to Fox News. Plus, Ilhan Omar takes on GOP women in an epic Twitter war. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with the big news that just came down yesterday evening, in fact, that Sidney Powell is out. She is out from Trump campaign's legal team. And if you just have been following the news over the last 5 days, you know that some big events happened. They had the monumental press conference on Thursday. I covered it on Friday's show. You can check it out right here. But it was big, and it was all the big hitters. Jenna Ellis, Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, all of them talking about the case, what's going on in the battleground states, how bizarre the results were, and why they were bizarre, because of massive voter fraud. That's what they were saying in the press conference. Then Sidney Powell went on Newsmax on Saturday and just dropped bombs, saying what she unleashes on Georgia is going to be biblical. It was just an amazing, stunning interview. And then yesterday we learned that Sidney Powell is out. She is out from the team. And here was a statement that was posted on Twitter. Trump campaign statement on legal team. Sidney Powell is practicing law on her own. She is not a member of the Trump legal team. She is also not a lawyer for the president in his personal capacity. And this is from Rudy Giuliani, attorney for President Trump, and Jenna Ellis, Trump campaign senior legal advisor and attorney for President Trump. So what does this mean, folks? I mean, for weeks, Jenna Ellis has been out there. Rudy Giuliani has been out there. But the prime face has been Sidney Powell. She has been making the rounds on conservative media, on Fox News, everywhere, radio interviews. She is the one who's been out there. She is the one who's been talking. And now she is out. A few hours after that statement, Jenna Ellis tweeted this. Looking forward to the election integrity fight ahead. Count all legal votes. So they're moving forward. Everything seems cool on that end. And make no doubt about it that Sidney Powell was clearly part of the team. Just last week, President Trump tweeted this. I look forward to Mayor Giuliani spearheading the legal effort to defend our right to free and fair elections. Rudy Giuliani, Joseph DeGeneva, Victoria Townsend, Sidney Powell, and Jenna Ellis, a truly great team added to our other wonderful lawyers and representatives. So, according to CBS News, Kristen Brown over there, she received a statement from Sidney Powell following the release of the Trump campaign's legal team statement from Ellis and Giuliani. And here's how that went. I understand today's press release. I will continue to represent we the people who had their votes for Trump and other Republicans stolen by massive fraud through Dominion and Smartmatic, and we'll be filing suit soon. The chips will fall where they may, and we will defend the foundations of this great republic. Hashtag Kraken on steroids. Now, there are news reports out there on the whole spectrum of what is going on. Some are saying that inside the Trump legal team, there's been chaos. They don't know what Sidney Powell's doing. They haven't seen her evidence. They don't know anything. I don't buy that, folks, because what we've seen with the statement released last night and Sidney Powell's response, it seems like they prefer to go in a two-prong approach, a campaign, an official Trump organization team to take on these legal cases that may get to the Supreme Court, especially when you look at the one like Pennsylvania, which is obviously unconstitutional to accept ballots later than what state law said. That seems like Trump campaign team will pursue that. Sidney Powell, on the other side, is going after Dominion voting systems, Smartmatic, private companies doing it that way. I'm 100% supportive of Sidney Powell and these efforts, and I do believe this two-pronged approach is the way to go, and that's why they're doing it. All right, so next, let's talk about this interview on Fox News with Dominion Voting Systems. But first, if you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified. We're making our push for 150,000 subscribers, and we can do it with your help. All right, so Dominion Voting Systems is actually speaking out. They hired a PR firm. They have a spokesman. they went on Fox News, and is probably just in time because they have been scarce. No one's heard a word. You do searches on LinkedIn for Dominion Voting Systems employees, it gets lower and lower and lower. People are purging that from their LinkedIn. But then they had this interview, and they had questions and answers, and I'll put both of the questions and answers in quotes because it was just lame, folks. It is lame, and it is Fox News doing what Fox News has done lately, and it's just embarrassing. I mean, this interview had so much potential to drill this guy, to get real answers, or at least put them on the hot seat, and he did none of that. Here's how it started.
First question, of course, the first question that people want to know, did a Dominion machine change one vote from Biden to Trump or from Trump to Biden?
No. This is a nonpartisan American company. It is not physically possible for our machines to switch votes from one candidate to the other.
All right, so far so good. All right, I'll give credit for that because if I were to do this interview, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd cut directly. Did you alter any votes at all? He says no. Have him on record. Say that. Now get in depth. And that's where the interview went lame because there were no in-depth investigative questions at all. It was just high level, basically, are you a bad guy? And Steele saying, no, we're not bad guys. I mean, here's more. You can see for yourself.
When a voter votes on a Dominion machine, they fill out their ballot on a touchscreen. They're given a printed copy, which they then give to a local election official for safekeeping. If any electronic interference had taken place, the tally reported electronically would not match the printed ballots. And in every case where we've looked at, in Georgia, all across the country, the printed ballots, the gold standard in election security, has matched the electronic tally.
All right, in that example, this one really bugs me because stories have been out there. Reports are out there that the machine can print out something, be programmed to print out something different than what the person selected. I know when I vote, I review my selections, but I review it on the screen. The last screen says, please review all your choices. I do. Then I hit submit, but I'll tell you what, once that printed out, I just took that sheet, put it in the can. I didn't look at it again. That's where they say some of the problems could be. He didn't ask any of that. Here's more.
The president calls your company a, quote, radical left company. The software created for Hugo Chavez to steal the election of Venezuela, that software allegedly imported into the United States to steal the election for Joe Biden. Is that true?
No. We are a nonpartisan American company. We have no connections with Venezuela whatsoever. Nothing that they're saying is remotely true.
Again, poor questioning on that one, too. I would have really pressed, made him draw a distinction between Dominion Voting Systems, the hardware, the machines, and Smartmatic software. Talk about the affidavits. Talk about there are people swearing that they were trained to switch votes, swearing that they have observed this software, this mechanism, these machines, this system change votes in real time. Ask him about that. What do you think about this testimony, this witness, this affidavit? What do you think? Nothing. Here's more of the interview.
Texas had some problems with their machines. They weren't certified. Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor, called them junk. What was that?
Well, look, the great thing about our system is that every state gets to certify their own equipment. Texas, being Texas, is a little bit different. They were afraid that our system was a little too complex, and they chose to go elsewhere.
Wow. You folks do know I'm in Houston, right? In Texas. But the machines were too complex for Texas? Wrong. They were rejected because they were susceptible to hacking. The software was so porous, you could manipulate it so easily. That's why it was rejected. That's why it's documented. That's why other Democrats, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, have spoken out. Then Eric Shawn wraps things up by actually talking about the spokesman, which was so bizarre, saying, I'm sure you're going to get attacked because you've represented people like John Boehner and Paul Ryan and Jeb Bush. And then Shawn says this statement.
As someone who works in Washington, as someone who is involved in public policy, what do these type of allegations do to the integrity and credibility and belief in our election system? What do they do to the very foundation of the republic that we hold so dear?
Are you kidding me? I rank this right up there with Mr. Vice President. What kind of ice cream did you select? What kind of statement is that? It is not bad. It is not a threat to our republic to challenge these election results through the means that are being used right now. That is what we should do. What is a threat is if there is widespread voter fraud, to let it go, to change the whole nature of our country and put the ruling of the country, the decision making, in the hands of a few people that have manipulated the system rather than we, the people of the United States of America. That would be the crime. That would be the travesty, not contesting an election during this period in which elections should be contested. What an outrageous question, and what a pathetic interview from Fox News. All right, so next, let's talk about one aspect of voter fraud that's really not getting attention. The Washington Times has a great story on it, and that is voting by non-citizens, because the results, the data, are just stunning. And here's the story. A new study estimates that presumptive President-elect Joe Biden benefited from thousands of illegal votes by non-citizens, providing President Trump's backers another potential argument for a fraud-tainted election. The study comes from the nonprofit research institute Just Facts and its president, James Agresti, who looked at election returns from 7 battleground states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Based in New Jersey, Just Facts concluded that thousands of extra non-citizen votes went to Mr. Biden, enough to flip Arizona and Georgia, but not sufficient to flip the election. This is just one kind of fraud, Mr. Agresti told the Washington Times. It's a sizable number, which is the point. It also decimates the predominant narrative that there is no evidence of large-scale fraud in U.S. elections. This is just unreal, folks, and it feeds into the whole Democrat ops of making it easier to register to vote and not requiring voter ID. They make it easier to get more people in and then make it easier to defraud the system. No voter ID, which we've seen that we absolutely need after seeing this election. But this kind of research and other research has been blasted in the past, but the thing is, you can't ignore the facts. Last year, Texas officials found 95,000 non-citizens illegally registered to vote. The state compared driver's license, which contained immigration status, to voter rolls. All right, 95,000 non-citizen voters registered. It's unbelievable. And from 2008 to 2013, when Obama was president, a survey found that 14% of non-citizens had registered to vote, and 9% said they definitely voted. Of those, 80% voted for Democrat, voted for Obama. 80%. Now you see why the Democrats want to do this. So next, I want to talk about Ilhan Omar in this epic Twitter war, and I'm going to try my hardest to get through this without cracking up, because as it goes along, you see that they go lower and lower and lower, and it gets worse and worse. So this all started with Ilhan Omar. I covered this on Relaxed Brain on Friday. She's trying to come to the defense of Raphael Warnock, the far left-wing radical who is in the Georgia runoff against Senator Kelly Loeffler. She came out and tried to quote the Bible, messed it up, got roasted about it. Well, Kelly Loeffler jumped in on the roasting, and here's what she tweeted. It's no wonder the squad fully supports Reverend Warnock. He totally supports their dangerous and extreme agenda. And Ilhan Omar completely agrees with his disgraceful comments about our active service members, veterans, and their families. Well, as you can imagine, that didn't go over well. Ilhan Omar's already getting roasted for her Matthews comment. Kelly Loeffler jumps in, so Ilhan Omar responds with this. Blatant lies from the disastrous insider trading, QAnon, conspiracy supporting, fear-mongering appointed Kelly. Pro tip, to win an election, you run on ideas, debate your actual opponent, and defend your record, not run against the squad. Ask Trump. He effed around and found out. Whoa. All right, so that's the end of the exchange, right? No, not even close. Loeffler responds with this. Ilhan, we saw the video of you smiling and laughing while talking about Al-Qaeda and 9/11. We know that you funneled millions of dollars to your new husband's consulting firm. And we know that you're an unabashed anti-Semite. You should be expelled from Congress. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Well, Ilhan Omar fired back at that with this. Sorry, Kelly. If you need help writing real clapback, I am here to help. This ain't it. Try harder. Try harder? All right, that was the cue for Marjorie Taylor Greene to step in. She will be part of the new freshman GOP class come January. She jumped in with this one. Back down, Ilhan Omar. You married your brother, so you're disqualified from running your mouth. Oh my gosh. Oh man, she went for the brother comment. Ilhan Omar fired back with this. Looks like the crazy lady has logged on. I know things might be different where you come from, but you have to get off the loony train now that you are in Congress. What can you even say to this? It's just, it's epic. So Greene fired back with yet another one. She fired back with this gem. Don't get me started on where you come from. We don't marry our brothers here in America, so I'm not sure who you're calling crazy. Oh man, not the most mature exchange in the world, but it was epic. And I guess you don't take on the new freshman GOP members that are coming to take on the squad. But that was the exchange. That's Ilhan Omar versus the GOP women. Folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified, and we'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Eberly. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching, and before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified, and here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.